Hello YouTube, it's Rich, welcome back to another video, and today I will be showing you guys my truly finished Endymion deck profile 2.0. Okay, so let's jump right into it. First card, most important card, well, yeah, it gets out all your boss monsters. Servant of Endymion. What this card does is you place it in the Pendulum Zone. Once this card gains 3 spell counters, it special summons itself and Mighty Master from the deck. Well, it says an Endymion monster, but you're going for Mighty Master, right? Yeah, with 1,000 or more attacks. So you can go into Jackal King as well, so whatever. It's basically really good. Summons from the deck. This guy, Reflection, once this gets 3 spell counters in the Pendulum Zone, you can special summon this card, and then 1 monster from your hand that you can place a spell counter on. It's Servant, except you're summoning from the hand. And, when this card is special summoned, you can bounce back a card. So when this comes from the Pendulum Zone, you can bounce back a card from your opponent's field to their hand. Mighty Master, I mean, of course, boss monster of the deck. Not really used in the Pendulum scale, but you can use it if you want. It's only for the high skill if you really need it. Its effect: once your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can negate it by bouncing back a card you control with a spell counter on it. So basically, if you have this guy and they activate a spell or trap card, you can choose a card in your Pendulum Zone, bounce it back to your hand and negate that, right? And it's overpowered, it's just a free negate. And also, bouncing back the card really helps if, like, you know, you want to exchange cards out on your next turn and you want to summon the card. So say if you have this guy, you can bounce, and you have Magister in your hand, you can activate this, bounce back the other Endymion in your Mighty Master in your Pendulum Zone, and then set the Magister next turn. So here's the Magister. It's basically a high scale. Its effect: removes 3 spell counters from the Pendulum Zone, special summon this guy, and Daybreaker, because you can place a spell counter on it. It's pretty much all it does. Destrudo. This card is pretty much for the Guard Dragon combo, for LP. I'll explain what that does. So, Gate 0, it's, first of all, it's +1, right? It's a level 7, you can use it to go into Absolute, and it's just easily searched off by Supreme King Dark One. Also, it's a 0, right? It's a Pendulum skill as well if you want to place it. Jackal King, really good, right? You can search it off by, like, a lot of things, like Abductor, you can get it with this. You can basically do anything with it, right? This card is a monster negate. So whenever where is it? Each time once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can remove 2 spell counters from your field, negate the activation. Right? So basically, your board wants to be Mighty Master in this. So you have a monster negate and a spell trap negate, and then you have Vortex spell, which is another spell trap negate. 3 Dark Worm is, like, essential to your deck. It's just free +1 and special summon from the grave. 3 Chronograph. You never want to place Dark Worm in the Pendulum Zone, by the way. 3 Chronograph. It's a high scale, which is good because, you know, you need the high scales with the low scales. You place it in the high scales, you summon all your Pendulum, then you can just destroy it off and special Time Gazer from your deck. There's not much to it. Sorry, excuse my cold. Next, you got Time Gazer. It's just a free special summon. That's literally what it is. It does nothing. 3 Abductors. Removes 3 spell counters while this card is in the Pendulum Zone. Add any Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Right? Any Pendulum monster. So this card is overpowered. Servant's limited to 1, but guess what? It doesn't matter because we have 7 searches for it. 1 including, so this is 1, you can just top deck it. 3 spell power masteries and 3 abductors. You can just draw into it. This deck is too powerful. Sloth. Sloth is really good. Also, you can use it in the Guard Dragon combo, so it depends whichever one you want to use. This card is basically, so neither player can summon monsters from the extra deck except Arrow-Phage monsters. So basically, after you're done all your comboing, you want to get this card out, and now your opponent just can't summon from the extra deck. Because obviously nobody's using Arrow-Phage monsters anymore. right? This card is like overpowered, and normally you're just summoning it with the guard training package, right? Blue boy combo. You got blue boy, secrets, knowledge. That's right, knowledge. Basically, all it does is normal this, add this, activate this, add this, and then you just tribute this guy off for 2 cards. It's just a pot of greed, basically, because you won't be normal summoning most of the time. 3 spell power masteries. Add any Endymion card from your deck to your hand and place spell counters. Not too much to it. This card is really good. 1 upstart goblin. Just draw a card, basically. +1s. Citadel. 2 citadels. This card is really important, right? You can use any of these guys' effect that remove spell counters on this, so you can take off counters from this, especially in the case of Magister, because normally you get Magister near like the end of your combos because it's like the least thing you want. And if you have Citadel, you can just Magister affect your Citadel, or like you can immediately go into Servant if you top deck it. If you top deck Servant and you don't have any counters, you don't have any spells, you can just go into Servant and then use the Citadel's counter on it. 2 allures. You basically draw power, obviously, and also you need spells. Draw 2 cards, banish 1 dark monster. 1 foolish burial, 2 dragon shrine for the dark worm. Into the void. It did get limited to 1. It's still fine. If you basically what this card does. If you have 3 or more cards, draw 1 card, and at the end of the turn, you just have to throw away your whole hand, right? And then we play 2 potted desires, banish 10 cards, draw 2, right? That's pretty much it for the main deck. I haven't really done it at the side deck. Probably put in another lore. Might do that. Another potted desires. The thing is, I'm not really a guy that plays with potted desires really, but this deck does really benefit from it. Stuff like, you know, system shutdown, like any cards basically, right? Dark Ruler, No More, and all that. Okay, so onto the extra deck. You got Odd Eyes Absolute and Vortex. So what you want to do is 2 level 7 monsters here. All you do is use 2 level 7 monsters, go into this guy, link it away, and then you go into this. Because its effect is, if this Exceed Summon card is sent to the graveyard, special summon 1 Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck. Right? It's basically level 7, level 7, level 7, level 7, and level 7? 6 it is. It doesn't matter. Basically, we always get something out to go into the Absolute all the time. After you go into Absolute, you're gonna link it away and you're gonna go into Vortex. Vortex, spell or trap negate. You can shuffle 1 face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck into your deck, so it recycles, and basically negate any spell or trap. Next, Abyss Dweller, Tornado Dragon, just general Xyzes. You could play the Utopia double package in here if you wanted to. Not a big deal, whatever. I don't like personally playing it. Boral Thor Dragon, this is like a staple. You have to play this card. It's like you OTK with this card. Appaloosa, I normally don't go into Appaloosa that often because it is negates, but I for some reason I always have like issues going with her. Normally I just go into Saryuja because Saryuja is OP. Also, you can just special summon a monster from your hand, right? So and also you draw 4 cards. When this card is summoned, you can draw 4 cards and place 3 from your hand to the bottom of the deck. It's overpowered. It's just draw power, right? Triple Burst and LP is the combo that you need. Basically, they do nothing. LP, during your main phase, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck to a zone that 2 Link monster points to. This gonna point sideways, and it's gonna point downwards. So this is gonna be the extra monster zone pointing downwards. LP is gonna be here pointing side. And how you do that is you're gonna go into Crowley. You're gonna go into Crowley, and this arrow pointing that way. So after you go into Crowley, the bottom right arrow, you're gonna place LP, and then after you use LP, you're gonna use Crowley and some other thing to go into Triple Burst. and then you can activate LP's effect. Special summon Freeson or Armaphage. So basically, destroy your opponent. They can't special summon from the extra deck. It's that simple. Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Phoenix, just a Nightmare package, right? Daybreaker, normally you don't go into it again. Only for Magister, I think. Like, normally I only use it for Magister. IP Masquerade, if you're trying to build budget, you can't use it, but it is really good. Sometimes you don't have the spellcasters to go into the Crowley, then you won't have the Guard Dragon combo. And for IP Masquerade, it just allows it, right? And IP Masquerade is just generally good. IP Masquerade Unicorn combo is really good. Spheres, yeah, this card is really good, right? What this card does is, if this is in the extra monster zone, you can just tribute it, bounce one face card on the field to their hand, and basically when it's tributed, you can special summon a dragon. So basically, you have this guy, you tribute it, bounce, special this, you can't summon from the extra deck. Basically, the deck isn't based around this card, but when you get this out, it's like a win condition for you, right? Those of you who don't know Nightmare Unicorn and Phoenix, which would probably be weird, Unicorn, discard a card and target one card on the field, shuffle it into the deck. So link 3. Phoenix, discard a card, target one spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. Also, when these cards activate, if they're co-link, you get to draw a card, +1, right? Phoenix, also, co-link cards can't be destroyed. That is important. You have to keep that in mind if you end up going somewhere like that. Like, if you go into Saryuja, you might even end up going into this, and Saryuja can't be destroyed. And so that's pretty much it for the deck profile. OTKing with Boral Sword is probably what happens most of the time. This is a very, very budget deck. I can't stress this enough. It's so good. You don't need to play Appaloosa and Masquerade, obviously, if you're trying to build budget. Everything else is so good. You don't even need a Master Cerberus. These 2 Jackal Kings will do you, right? This deck is overpowered. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.